来福的安南。怎么觉得今天音乐比较小啊？有吗？今天音乐感觉特别小声哎。啊，原来昨天就不大了吗？哇，可是他最大声了耶 ！L 安安，我把他的那个已经拉到最大嘞，我要怎么让他声音感觉更大声呢？等一下，未充电，为什么会未充电？啊，我不是充着电吗？啊，
测试
有了！萝莉安安会讲话了，成功了！太好了，会讲话了。调整 OBS， 可是超级回音吗？等一下哦，超级回音。嘿，我来看看。等一下，麦克风已经很高级了啦。只是我在想要怎么让它声音变大，可是好像没办法耶，它已经是最大声了。我要怎么让它声音变得更大呢？我来试试看那个街区卡的设定。啊，对吼，等一下，突然想起来街区卡可以调音量。好，那我先把把它关掉，然后这边。好，我来看看。等一下哦，我要摸的。嘿，有吗？我按了街区卡上面的按键，好像没有比较大声，好像没有哎，没有，他没有理我。那再开一次。怎么这么小声啊？我昨天都没有发现。难道我真的该买一个耳机吗？可是耳机是个大坑呢。声音。 好像没有哎。那不然就是只有一个办法了，是我把我的声音拉小，大家自主把那个音量全部往高哈。哎，等一下，为什么？等一下，为什么在发抖？等一下。我觉得有点害怕，等我一下。哎，为什么？等等哦，等我一下，我把东西都重开。叫鸡排，叫起来！鸡排好吃哎，想吃鸡排的是呢。哪里传鸡排？哎，话说，如果我把声音调成这样子的话，你们再把整体音量往上调的话，有觉得比较大声吗？这样应该正常多了。这样声音大家 OK 吗？因为我不确定它那个音量可不可以。OK， 好，那就这样咯。拖了有一点久，但是可以啦，可以。人物说话吗？好像也是哈。不洗澡，安安。我们昨天到这间房间，我们这间房间应该算是探索完了，对不对？就是去别间。哦。
Sir? Can you hear me? I'm Private Detective Grimoire. I have some questions for you.
Grimoire!
good mysterious name. I'd rather like
是不是还要再大声一点
Felix
啊？
Fellow at your beck and call.
And, this is my colleague, Sally.
Yeah, that's
哦，声音差不多吗？
perfectly good name as well.
Thanks.
If you would, Mr. Fellow, we really need to ask you about the murder.
I must say I'm rather jealous of you two.
Oh, yeah? Why's that?
Out here solving mysteries, exploring new places, uncovering secret rooms, hidden treasures. That's what life is all about.
Secret rooms?
Generally speaking, you know, that sort of thing.
So, Felix, what exactly do you, do?
Is it not obvious? I'm an explorer. Explorer / treasure hunter. Yes, well, best in the world.
We're talking like curse statues.
看起来有点
spike
累。
pits.
It's a little more sophisticated than that. But I've certainly seen my share of danger, if that's what you're asking.
And, if I may ask, when did you retire?
You listen here. I may be between ventures right now, but it's simply not in my nature to stay in one place for too long. I go wherever the winds of destiny take me.
Don't you live here with your wife and daughter?
Yes, well, the Fellow family has certain loyalties, and with Flora the way she is,
Nothing wrong with raising a family, Mr. Fellow.
don't misunderstand me. Fiona and Flora are my entire world. They are the greatest treasure of all.
Uh-huh.
Why on earth would you want to know about that?
The murder of Freya Fellow. The reason we're here?
Ah, right. Nasty business. Very unfortunate. I regret that I can't be of
他直接不讲吗？
but I wish you all the best in your investigation.
Hear that, Grimoire? We're done here. Let's go.
It's a simple question, Felix. I'm sure you're up to it.
Well, there's not much to tell. Mostly, I was in my room by myself, working on Flora's, working on a project.
Your room is quite close to Flora's tower. You didn't hear anything unusual?
What qualifies as unusual?
What have you got?
It was dusk. A feeling lingered in the air. Malevolent, perhaps. Uncertain, as life itself.
Abridged version, please.
Right, fine. I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room. The footsteps were calm, orderly, so I thought nothing of it. Shortly afterward, I heard a second set of footsteps, going the same way.
我以为是那
This time I
个
could tell just from the sound that something was wrong. So
音乐
I
家
looked out into the hallway. I got a glimpse of
对
Poppy disappearing down the staircase to the floor below. Didn't know what to make of it, to be honest.
啊
I
我的
thought
声音
perhaps
好，
she'd had a
我再小声一
disagreement
点。
with Fitz, as I know those two are close. So I looked into his room,
这样应
just
该
in case,
有比较好吧？
but it was empty, as was the garden beyond his window. Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her. We went into Flora's room. Poor Freya was laying on the floor.
所以现在有多一个神秘人，就是在 Puppy 之前先下楼的。
Flora too, of course. Soon enough, everyone else made their excuses and left.
Including you?
Not I. I stayed. Flora needed me. Dearest Flora, a remarkable woman. Yes, been married over 20 years now.
You two still get on?
Of course. Question.
She hasn't gone quiet on you.
It's true she has an
Isa?
independent streak. She's had it her whole life. She's the youngest of three. Always something of a lone wolf, you know? just the way she is.
Lone wolf is putting it lightly. She doesn't seem to want to talk to anyone.
She just likes time to herself, away from the company of other humans.
Other humans?
Well, yes, other people.
我突然在想一件事情，那个我们的女主角会不会跟她爸有点关系？她的色系很像欸。
You're the one currently basking in his presence. You tell me.
Let's move on.
My daughter Fiona, our little burgeoning genius. You've met her?
We did. She's going by Fifi these days.
So I've heard. I asked her some weeks ago, what's wrong with your real name? She told me, get this, she wanted a name with an even number of syllables. She makes up the strangest things when she's under pressure.
What makes you think she made that up?
I happen to know the real reason she prefers Fifi over Fiona.
Oh, yeah?
It's what Freya called her.
哦，感觉他是真的很喜欢那个受害者。
Quite the character, eh? A fellow member of the Order of the Crimson Cloak.
Is that a real thing?
No, I just meant because we both wear, you know, red capes of a sort.
Has she questioned you yet?
If you call that questioning, she seemed bored by everything I had to say. I heard on the grapevine, supposedly Hawkshaw is searching for some rare item, something called the Golden Beetle. Honestly, it's probably a bunch of sensationalist rubbish.
只要想到金甲虫，我就会想到那
Quite
个
sure. There is no treasure called the Golden Beetle.
How do you
神
know?
鬼奇航。
Because I would have heard of it. Uncommonly skilled as an artist, but Freya was so much more than her talent. She helped me get started with my own painting, you know. It taught me what she knew about wood carving, too. Tremendous patience. She was ever so good with dear Flora.
Freya and Flora were close?
Oh, yes, especially recently.
How are you related to Freya?
Somewhat distantly, as it happens. My father, Lord Fellow, was her grandfather. Technically, that makes her a fellow. Let's just say there was some discussion over whether she ought to carry the name at all. There's a family tree in the Grand Hall.
这样
You
会
should
跟
take a
族
look
谱有
at
关
it.
吗？
What about her inheritance?
Freya's parents died when she was around 3 years old. She came to live here shortly afterwards.
Nobody left her a thing?
I'm afraid not. She had no formal claim over anything at Tangle Tower. Fitz? I don't trust him. He's slippery. Never
他这么
commits
不
to
喜欢他
anything.
哦。
Brain like an onion.
An onion?
Did you two have an argument?
No, but my daughter doesn't like him at all. And I trust Fiona's judgment entirely. She's a very vigilant young woman. Poppy's a good friend to my daughter. Always has been. I think they get on well because they're so different.
Different, like how?
Poppy is, she's quite introspective, good with feelings. Fiona, not so much. Still, Poppy always seems to be sulking about something.
The heavy, heavy price of emotional intelligence.
Now this is still in very good condition, apart from the crack, of course.
What about those shards on the inside of the horn?
啊，
Looks
对
like
哈，我
somebody
们好像还没有问过
broke
Papi，
glass
就
was
是
trying to
类似这些的事
conceal
情。
the evidence. Cunning. My daughter Fiona and her best friend. They grow up so fast.
Do you know why it's ripped like that?
Ah, yes. I didn't even notice. No idea. Freya was quite the talent. She had a way of capturing the spirits of her subjects. Not in an evil way, in a good way. That's one of Freya's paintings, is it not? It's impressive, but a little miserable for my tastes. Why would someone lock up a book like that?
We think it's a secret diary.
Aha! Teenagers are funny, aren't they? That
大家有
looks
写
like it
过
might
秘密日
belong
记
to
吗？
Fitz. Why don't you ask Fiona about that one? Looks like her area of expertise.
我日记永远都只写3页，然后就再也不会写了。
She must do, but I admit I've never managed to work out what.
Why not just ask her?
I feel like if somebody keeps something locked away in a ceramic egg, it's because they don't want to be asked about it.
Rules to live by.
That looks like it might belong to Poppy. Flora's quite fond of that old thing. It's in poor shape, though.
Do you know what happened to it?
Can't say I do.
记账，记账，我也是看
It's
几个。
unlike her to leave paint on the brush.
I think we'll give her a pass, given the circumstances.
Ah, yes. So we shall. Looks like Freya's paints.
Do you know why the pots are cracked down one side?
No, that's very
我觉得
odd.
他那个
They're normally in
那个
excellent
叫什么？
condition.
You seem pretty sure about that.
就是颜料、留声机还有卡带这3个应该是同时间裂掉的。日记有写1天，我应该通常会维持3天啊，就3分钟热度，然后3天之后就没有了。哎，日记真的很难维持哎。
It would have been a beautiful painting. It's rather a shame Freya was unable to finish it.
Nothing about it seems strange to you.
Well, all these modern paintings are slightly strange, aren't they? The emotion of the piece taking over from, say, anatomical accuracy.
What about the knife in Flora's hand?
A knife? That's what you see?
You don't?
Well, as I was saying, Freya's artistic approach
3年力、5年力，那个真的超强。
Hard to say
你们知道
exactly
有一种
what
笔记
we're
本是
looking
那种
at.
超大本，然后可以就是写365天的嘛？我觉得那能写完都好扯哦，都好强哦。
What's this?
It's my case file. It's how I know what I'm supposed to be doing.
You mean to say you're bound by the limits of what's written in this little document? Sounds dreadful.
I found it comforting.
Charming, isn't it? Yes. Built by the
我怎么
Remington
觉得这件
family
事情会是
originally.
2个家族之间的战争啊，
Dear Flora's
或者
father
是
and
怎么
his,
样？
associates.
搞不好是
But
跟
now
继
it's
承
owned by
有
you?
关。
By the fellow family?
The Fellows and the Pointers have both come to claim a certain degree of ownership.
And who named it Tangle Tower?
Flora chose the name.
What does it mean?
I think it was her intention that it mean nothing at all. Something of a fresh start.
From what?
This really isn't for me to say, but she had some kind of disagreement with her siblings. After they moved away, Flora changed the name of the house. I think perhaps
那
she
Flora
hoped it
是
would
那
make
一个
them
都
feel
不讲话的人吗？
unwelcome, is less likely to come back.
That's kind of extreme.
Yes, it is rather, isn't it?
看一下，哦，是哎，是他哎，
That's a massive conch shell. Do you think this little crab living inside?
I hope so.
Puffer fish?
Yes. It's also a lamp, for some reason. A little hand-painted statue.
How can you tell it's hand painted?
Well, the paints are right there on the desk. Also, I mean, no offense, but you can just tell.
哦，
Nice. A real treasure chest.
How do you know there's treasure in there?
Why else would it be locked? Plus, there's a treasure map hanging directly above it. What's the deal with that painting on the front?
Not sure. We should check that treasure map too.
它有叉叉龙跟那个，它好晃，它站在叉叉上，然后左边有龙，右边有山，左边有龙，右边有山，这里吧，在4I 那边是吧？4I，然后面北，所以是 N4I 哦，面北 I4。
Nothing.
没有吗？
Check the treasure map. And what about that paint?
等一下哦，不就是在这吗？站在那个啊上面，看向北方，然后4I。哎，对啊。难道不是看着的方向吗？不对啊，它有那个小草啊，有啊，所以是4I 没有错啊，还是南？可是南为什么是南？为什么是南？
Still locked.
I think there's a connection. Like they're different versions of the same thing, maybe?
对啊，不是北吗？
Was
The padlock has 3 different. It's just a grid record.
还是他要放那个 I3？他这样明明就是站在那个叉叉上。I3吗？
that was
The pad's just a grid.
怎么突然变硬 A 了？不是 I 吗？啊？我对的出了什么问题吗？左边是龙，右边是山。左边是龙，右边是山。哦，我知道了，因为它有一点点左边的龙比较近，然后右边的山比较远，所以它应该是这个 H6，然后往西，所以是 CH6。CH6。
that's done it.
有啦。
Neat. What was in the box?
More wooden models. These are a little different to the one on the desk.
哦，它有一个红色的。绿发。
You get a good view of the lake from here.
我的垃圾车，吓死我了！
He's an imp.
What does he do?
Well, if you tell too many lies, he appears at the end of your bed in the middle of the night.
Oh.
想要问问看，没有啦，我把手机关静音了。
I've been carving for a couple of years now.
我关静音了，抱歉，我自己都被吓到。
It didn't take me long to master it, as you can see.
Do you paint them yourself too?
I do indeed, yes. Freya kindly taught me the basics. Nowadays, I can make just about anything I can imagine. Of course, this particular model is a self-portrait based on hard fact.
Hard fact, huh? So, you own a sword, Felix?
Of course, I own a great many. but my weapons are stored well away from Tangle Tower. Safety first.
总觉得我应该要找一个小盒子，把它垫高一点。我的那个平板，找找看。好，这样应该比较不会这么低头了吧？好多了。对，我还没有问那个。
Ah, you found it. What do you think, huh? I had to rush the final touches a little bit. It turned out all right, though.
壁挂式也太
What's
难
it
了吧？
supposed to be?
It's Flora, of course, surrounded by all her favorite people.
There's something about Felix's painting supplies. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
Ooh.
So, about this paint we found in your room.
Nothing suspicious about it. I used it to paint, obviously. Totally normal thing to do.
We never said it was suspicious.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me of?
It's not your paint pot. Did you take it from somewhere else?
What on earth? It's definitely mine. I even have proof. Look, the lid matches the ones on all my other paint pots. End of
是
discussion.
颜色不一样吗？
That's not the end of the discussion.
We need a clue to compare with Felix's red paint. Something to prove who it actually belongs to.
嗯，
That's not right. Let's take a closer look at this.
哦有，哎，真的哎。
Freya's red paint pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it.
That red paint is from Freya's supplies, not yours. Swapping the lids doesn't hide what you did.
Why are you bothering me about paint anyway? And none of this is connected to your murder.
嗯，偷了他的画。嗯，在用他画之前，
This red paint pot was somehow filled with blood before Freya used it to paint Flora.
Oh, that's definitely something. Right, fine. Here's the story. I was busy working on a project when I suddenly realized I had run out of red paint. There was a certain amount of time pressure, so I politely asked Freya if I could borrow hers. Just for a little while, you know. Perfectly reasonable request.
But she said no.
I tried to explain why I needed it, but she didn't seem to care. So, well, I took Freya's red paint pot and swapped it with my own empty one.
You went into her room?
Not my proudest moment, but it's just paint. I didn't touch anything else.
And the paint pot you left behind was definitely empty?
Quite. I have absolutely no idea how it got blood in it, if that's what you're asking.
Why were you in such a hurry to get a hold of red paint anyway?
I was trying to finish this in
哦，我有
time
在
for
想这件
Flora's
事情，生
birthday.
日。
I needed red to paint the final details.
Could you not have just used a different color?
Out of the question. It had to be red and white.
If you managed to
Come on.
finish it, why haven't you given it to Flora yet?
Well, I decided against it in the end. After what happened, seemed a bit insensitive.
而且等一下，我有注意到一件事情，他说
We already solved it.
没有他女儿哎，没有他的女儿哎，所以他一点都不在乎他女儿了。这点有点恐怖。
Don't look at me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes. I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the piano.
感觉他很爱钢琴。
This photograph is my favorite photograph.
So, why'd you rip it in half?
That was not me. Besides, it was not a half that was ripped off. It was only a third.
这感觉超怪的。
A book. My book.
And what's in it?
Pages.
不说话。
There is a drawing of me, a drawing of Detective Hawkshaw, and a drawing of Poppy and Fitz.
怪
I
怪
believe
的。
Freya was attempting to communicate something through this painting.
Any idea what it was?
I am not the person to ask. All I see is a blood-red mountain with angry storm clouds brewing above it. As such, I cannot ascertain any meaning from it whatsoever. A wooden carving of my father, made by my father. Although, now that I look at it, I do not understand how he was able to paint the red parts without any red paint. It is a model of Freya, made by my father.
A model of Flora, you mean?
And a man with a beard. And a little red and white creature.
Why would my father make a model of Freya? Why did Poppy leave shards of glass all over this statue?
What makes you think it was Poppy?
The statue lives in the music room. Who else would it be?
There's something about that diary we found in Fifi's room. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Sure. Why not build a science lab in the corner of the library?
The search for new knowledge. The archiving of old knowledge. It's downright poetic.
Is this your diary, Fifi? We found it in your bedroom.
Of course it is mine. Ridiculous question.
Why is it locked up like that?
Would you seriously require an explanation? Very well. A fairly common concept, the so-called secret diary, is favored in particular by girls between the ages of 10.
So, there are secrets written in here?
This particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
Oh wow，应该是2吧？
It's Fifi's diary, and she has written in it.
I'm not sure about that.
Me neither.
This particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
哦，所以我原本我上一个是选对了。哦。
It's somebody else's diary.
How could you arrive at that conclusion? It is kept in my bedroom. It is mine.
We need a clue to compare with the diary. Something to prove who the original owner was.
What? 哦，这里
That's not it.
啊，不是吗？可是它有星星哎。哦，这里啦，这个。
Let's take a closer look at this. This blue book is the same thing as the secret diary, which proves it belonged to Freya.
You were hiding Freya's diary in your room, and you kept it locked, too.
Why would I do either of these things?
Ooh. 不想让任何人看到。哎，这是什么东西？
Fifi didn't want anyone to see a secret letter within Freya's diary. Almost. Maybe just change one thing.
这个。
Fifi didn't want anyone to see personal secrets kept in her bedroom. Almost. Maybe just.
为什么要藏Freya的日记？
Fifi was always suspicious of Poppy within Freya's diary. Nope.
完了，等一下哦。这样吗？
Fifi didn't want anyone to see personal secrets that everyone knew about. Almost. Maybe just change one thing. Fifi didn't want anyone to see a secret letter within Freya's diary. Almost. Maybe.
怎么觉得这里好奇怪哦？好怪，这文法都好奇怪哦，这感觉一定只能放一个东西。只有最后一个错。
Fifi didn't want anyone to see personal secrets kept in her bedroom. Almost. Fifi didn't want anyone to see personal secrets within Freya's diary.
Is this true, Fifi?
I know Freya was your friend, but if you're trying to hide something...
You did not know Freya, so this might be difficult to understand. She did her own thing, in her own way. By concealing Freya's written accounts, it is simply my intention to preserve her innocence.
Innocence?
Might be easier if you just let us read the diary, Fifi.
Very well. I will open it. However, as you read it, please remember, Freya was the most kind and the most wise person I have ever known.
All right, Fifi unlocked the diary.
Finally. What's in there?
他回来了，这次有实际的形体，是我吗？是我把它放出去的吗？也许我该把那幅画撕了。爆魂蟹有用了，惊人的小东西，我现在有2个了，还需要2个。找到了通往中间的路，和竖琴比起来意外的简单。我看到他们了，共5个，眼睛涂黑了。不管发生什么事，我仍有一个诺言要遵守，我会尽力的。他需要一些陪伴。哈？什么意思？好奇怪哦。诶
Name, Poppy Pointer. Age, 19. Profession, oh. Apparently Poppy has defaced my notes. Under profession, I had of course originally written pianist, but she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
也是很可爱。
Name, Felix Fellow. Age, 53.
我觉得我应该喝个水。
None. Likes, collecting objects of negligible monetary value and assigning them personal value. Dislikes, the inescapable realities of human existence. Notes, Felix is my father and legal guardian.
And, is he a good dad?
I have no point of comparison, but I would say no.
No?
我觉得他妈妈跟他爸爸好像都不
You
是很
asked
在
me a
乎他。
binary question. Do not get upset that I provided one of the 2 possible answers.
What makes him a bad father, Fifi?
He has trouble expressing his emotions, and something of a willful detachment from reality.
Huh. Just like you, then.
Grimoire.
No, he is quite correct.
我们什么都给他看过了吗？
Whose paints are those?
They belong to Felix, I think.
Is that supposed to be Flora?
Possibly.
Oh, how nice. Foregone drifter, holding fast. Days as shadow seeker past. Is it bravery or surrender? Accepting that your world will render nothing darker than the gloom.
他真的很文艺耶！我的天哪，我完全看不懂他在讲什么。诶，他是不是有房间，然后我们还没去过啊？这里吗？等一下 ，F 哦，原来是他的。好。
It's a little handmade card.
我觉得他们有一腿。
Inside it says, "To Fitz from PP." An empty glass and an empty plate.
Looking at it is making me want to cry.
Why?
I don't know. That poor plant.
Looks pretty healthy to me.
Healthy, but sad. I think it would rather be outside.
There's someone outside the window.
Something outside the window. It's probably just a rock.
哦，原来哦。
You sure?
Hello.
Not hidden very well, is it?
Doesn't need to be. It's locked.
哦，这是啥？
It's a combination lock. Sort of.
排列纸片。然后呢？哎，什么意思？ 这是3个混起来的颜色吗？所以是蓝色加红色，蓝色加红色是什么颜色？紫色。啊？应该是这个吧。可是它没有这个样子的形状的叶子哎，只有这里有。对，好，那先试试看这个，然后再猜每一个角都会有一个。还有这个样子的。好。还有一个哦，那还有一个，在这里有了，这样。
I did it. What do I win?
Not bad.
Yeah， 简
Anything in
单
there?。
一
Yeah,
块
it's
小
wrapped
蛋
in a
糕。
cloth. Hold on. Huh. That's kind of ominous.
哦。哦，他们两个这么相爱哦！哇靠！
It's locked, but it leads outside.
I thought we were halfway up a tower.
We are.
What's that thing by the handle?
划开盖子。哦，这样有对吗？什么意思？
Nothing. Still
The
locked.
tiles have all got that same sun symbol on them.
Those moon symbols in the slots. Are they connected?
Maybe they're connected, but also not connected.
这什么废话？这样啊？
Nope. It's not budging.
Maybe the information we need isn't here.
So where is it?
Somewhere else.
哦，
Let's come back once we know what to do.
It's a little handmade. Inside it says, "To Fitz." From. Huh. Neither of these lights have an actual light bulb.
那他这样晚上怎么看东西？
They're just decorative.
Oh, so decorative.
太阳。
Is that a gardening trowel?
Yeah. I think it belongs to Fitz.
Really? Huh. Never seen him use it.
直接去找那个好了。
This is a good example of how things work. I mix that soil here in the greenhouse. It's made with water from the lake.
And it makes the fruit grow all shiny and gem-stony.
Sometimes. You never really know what's going to happen.
And what do you do with this shiny, inedible fruit?
You look at it. Looks like someone doesn't want you to read that book.
That's the main thing making me want to read it.
Freya's best work, in my opinion. Although, the photo doesn't carry the same energy as the real thing.
What do you think it's a painting of?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the subject matter? What's that big red thing?
Oh, I don't think it's that kind of painting.
Fitz, one of these drawings is of you, in the rooftop garden, I think, with Poppy.
Mm-hmm. Are we done? It's It's Fifi and Freya.
Don't you think Poppy should be in the photo too?
Maybe, maybe not. She doesn't really like crowds.
2 people isn't a crowd.
Right, but if she was in the photo, then it'd be 3.
Checkmate.
What's with the broken glass? Felix made that? Huh. That's quite sweet, really.
This is yours, Fitz?
超级敷衍。
Yeah.
Do you use it?
I keep all my tools in the greenhouse.
That wasn't what she asked.
Poppy and I are friends.
Oh, I can buy that.
不可能
Clothes, blue
我
hair,
觉得不可能只
average
是
of 3
朋
words
友
per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants. Unusual flowers, mostly. I've been teaching her.
Right.
Is something wrong?
Have you met this guy, Fitz? Shifty eyes, doesn't say a lot. Totally suspicious, if you ask me.
That's me.
Yeah, that's... It was a joke. I was joking.
Oh, I see. Fifi doesn't like me.
What did you do?
I'm not sure. If you find out, maybe you can let me know.
哦，他其实蛮那个的耶。
Felix is a contradiction.
蛮和善的。
His loyalties are placed firmly within the realm of materialism, money, property. But his ego relies on an entirely fraudulent self-image, don't you think?
I was just
哦，我
about
好
to
喜
say
欢
the
那个
same thing.
Fee，他叫什么 Fees， 好难念他们的名字。我好喜欢他的声音哦，他的声音真的是赞哎。好吗？希望这 Puppy 的房间啊，终于
Empty. A big glass door
等一下，
leads out into a garden.
这是他们两个。
There's a little mechanism. 他们两个这样就可以约会了啊！啊！
Nothing. Still locked.
All 4 tiles have a moon.
Those other
I
symbols.
think it is.
等一下，那就是这样
Something happened.
啊！
That must be it. And the door's still locked.
I still feel like we made some sort of progress.
怎么觉得有点浪漫？
It's a
偷偷
metronome
约会
for
耶
keeping！time.
啥？
It's ticking. Is it a bomb?
It's supposed to be ticking. Not sure what those symbols are, though.
什么意思？使用按钮旋转4个。哦。
Nothing.
哎，
We can't rotate the pendulums directly. We just have to use the buttons.
这样不就是第一个吗？然后嘞，什么意思？哦，哦，我看懂了，就是动这2个啦，这样哦。
There we go.
Perfect.
他只是要把它全部都弄上去而已，我以为是要拼图案。
What happened?
Little hatch unlocked in the back.
Anything in there?
Mm-hmm. It's a photograph. part of a photograph.
所以他们真的是，他真的是被撕掉的那一个。为什么？为什么？这太诡异了。
There's something about that pink cassette tape. Something suspicious.
Let's ask Poppy about it.
That is the bed of a vampire.
I thought vampires slept in coffins.
This is a vampire who needs firm support for their lower back.
More handwritten sheet music.
There's a name for this kind of piano. You know, these ones that stand upright. Anything in the wardrobe?
Dresses mostly. I never realized there are so many shades of black.
黑色大师。
A single red rose. How very traditional.
Yeah, weird.
李恩安南，为什么是枣？
Anything in the drawers?
Nothing you need to know about.
这个应该要下来一点。
Just a bunch of clothes on the floor. Nothing weird about that.
To you.
I don't know what that is.
Weird.
还想瞒呐
Found it hidden in your room?
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there. I don't mean like... Please stop talking to me.
好哦，也是啦。这时间说晚安也蛮好笑的。
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like your music, to be honest.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine. I'd never own anything like that.
Why not?
Not my color.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to
就是
like
那
these
张照
colors.
片啊。
Let's take a closer look at this. The pink cassette tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
That is not me.
Yeah, it is.
Papi 。
I'll prove it.
啊，什么意思？那你过来。
This is the left side.
哦哦哦。
Well, look.
You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up? And then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward.
嗯，
Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Maybe. It
难道真的
depends
是
on the
恨
reason.
他吗？
Reason. she doesn't want to look like that anymore?
The passage of time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift.
Oh, 没有选错哎。
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
Wow.
I need to confirm something. What? It sounds
sure.
the tape.
It's
Why not?
好像没有，他会直接重给。我们去那个这里 Fizz 房间，然后就可以中间的秘密邮费地点。
It's locked.
I thought
we are.
What's that thing by the...
我记得是这样。
It made a noise.
I guess that was right. Finally, it's open.
Whatever's on the other side better be worth it.
Oh wow， 好正常的花园哦。
That's one big dragonfly.
Or one very small dragon. It's another little statue, doing a really bad job of hiding in the bushes.
He's playing a lute this time.
He's also wearing headphones.
Well, they're not part of the statue. And they're not headphones. They're earmuffs.
It's a rose bush, growing on a little patch of bluish soil. Apart from a couple of loose petals on one side, the whole thing looks very well cared for.
The roses are bright red, too.
Now, aren't roses normally that color?
Exactly. Giant stone frog. Love it.
Ah, he's got his tongue out like he's catching snowflakes.
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
哈，这有什么用吗？这要干嘛？
Oh, good. A bridge. I'm glad to know there's a way to get across that tiny, tiny pond.
Not all bridges are about getting across stuff.
A little pond.
It looks really, really deep for some reason. See those metal bars around the edges, too?
Oh, yeah. What do you suppose they're for?
Nothing anymore. Looks like somebody broke them and then never bothered to fix it.
这边真的有够平静哎。
The door into Poppy's room.
So, only Poppy and Fitz can get into the garden?
I guess so.
优惠です。
It's the door into Fitz's room.
One of only 2 ways to get into the garden.
Oh, yeah.
It's so relaxing. I might just stay here.
Oh, shall I go finish the investigation on my own?
Oh, that'd be great.
Careful, we're pretty high up.
Yeah, we're on a roof. It's so relaxing. I might just...
Oh.
还有什么要调查的吗？感觉应该是没有。
It's a 2-person bench.
Now, what makes it a 2-person bench specifically? It looks pretty standard to me.
这应该可以拿去质问他吧。哎呦
Any idea who this is?
No idea.
骗人。
Wait, those are mine, the earmuffs. They went missing about a week ago.
What do you need earmuffs for?
I use them for gardening sometimes.
Why? You don't own a chainsaw, do you?
No. I wear them while I'm gardening, and it stops people from trying to talk.
这就跟走在路上的时候戴耳机一样。我觉得以前呢，还有有线的时候啊，这真的很好用哎，就戴着耳机，然后在路上走路，大家就不会想要打扰你。可是自从我改成用那个蓝牙无线耳机之后，大家就还是会跟我讲话，然后我就很尴尬的把它就拿下来，然后就哈，怎样？你说啥？
We found these up in the rooftop garden. Do you know how long they've been there?
No, it could have been a long time. We don't ever really clear up the rooftop garden.
Why not?
Nature is unruly. In truth, it prefers to be left alone.
哇，很难怀疑他哎。鸟兽哦，哇，我的手。
Oh, just beautiful. What is it?
好漂亮哦。
Sort of a delicate jade, but what?
但是感觉很 mean.
Is that right?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear. Which shade?
耳罩式也太那个了吧？太下趴。
Pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to
我之
offset
前
for
看到
Moore's
讲到
beige
那
on
个
brown
戴耳机
ensemble.
中没听到，
Detectives don't need
就
to
想
be
到
brightly
之前
colored.
有人
We
就是
prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope
哦，我好喜欢他的配音哦。
ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah.
就是我那个啊，那时候就是看到有，应该算是我不知道访问嘛，然后他就直接说，请问一下你耳机里面在听什么？然后他就直接拿下来说，我没有在听任何东西，我只是不想跟别人说话，也是很直接。
20-something, Aquarius, love to travel, and nearly all of my friends are birds.
Travel? Where to?
Anywhere at all, as long as it has species worth studying. Ornithology, they call it. I call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of course! Where else do you think I developed my love?
他好可爱哦。
No matter where I go, I always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him! Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Who are you?
你说头上那一只吗？
Oh, don't
头
you
上那一
know?
只。
My fiancé, dear Fitz. He's not really the traveling type, you see.
Fitz fellow.
The very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
I'm not especially interested in whatever tedious feuding goes
等
on
一下
between our，two
可是
families.
他不是喜欢
Fitz and I
Bobby
find it
吗
much easier to stay out of it
？Oh
altogether.
my god！
I awoke early and headed down into the greenhouse to see Fitz. He's always there, crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
It's where he's happiest. That and he has a great deal of work to do every day, watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help
哎，
him
对
with
耶
the work in，the
这样子的
greenhouse?
话
Oh,
，Bobby
no,
跟
no.
Fitz 他
I
们是
wouldn't dream of
两个
it.
家族
I'd
哎。
probably break something.
Oh my god！
So, you stayed with Fitz the whole day?
No. In the early afternoon, he went back inside. Rather suddenly, as it happens.
Did he say why?
He didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you'd think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I returned to the aviary to feed my birds.
And how many birds are you responsible for?
Officially 4, but in truth it's more like 400.
Can they not feed themselves?
Of course. And they often do. But I think they just like the company. As do I.
哦，
Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom. He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too, standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower. There used to be all kinds of birds here at Tangle Tower. The most fascinating breeds, all totally unique.
Used to be? There are birds all over the place.
Most of them are rather ordinary, I'm afraid.
What happened to
头上的那一只
non-ordinary
感觉是娃娃，感觉不是鸟。
That is a very good question.
看它这边短也蛮可爱的。
Lovely. I can't decide what's worse. How she looks here, or how she looks now.
Do you know who this is? In the photo?
Oh, absolutely no idea.
他知道。
Oh, did Fitz show you that?
Not exactly.
We found it hidden under his bed.
Ah, right.
头发吗？有可能哦。
If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind. A bit vain to carve wooden figurines of oneself, isn't it? Haven't seen
我一
this
直在
one
看
in
那
a
只
while.
鸟嘴
He
唇。
lives in the music room, doesn't he?
Currently.
Freya was very talented, even at that age.
Do you know how old this photo is?
Not sure. Must be a couple of years at least. Sometime before Fiona settled on her current style. Very nice.
You've seen these before?
啊，等一下，他，
All of them. Even this one up.
Yes.
所以他知道，他知道那个 Puppy 跟 Fizz 他们两个应该算是有一腿。
I know a lot of people rather like this painting, but it's a little much for me. I find it overbearing. And for some reason, it makes me feel bad for Freya. I think she was more troubled than we knew. Ooh, a secret diary.
他的反应也太可爱了吧！
Excellent. Ooh, delightful. More of a gemstone than a fruit, isn't it?
Inedible, too, I think.
Yes. At one point, I thought Fitz might be growing them to sell them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look. I don't know what that is. Gaudy old thing, isn't it? Flora seems very fond of it. I've never understood why. But then I could say the same thing about her husband.
Heyo!
How terrible.
You recognize it?
The color scheme. 3 different pinks. Obscene.
好可爱哦！
Poppy's gramophone. She's had it for a long time. As a young child, she'd call it her mama phone, on account of it belonging to her mother.
That's cute.
Oh yes, adorable.
哦，他很生气哦。
That's rather sad. Freya doesn't take very good care of her paints, does she? But then she was always rather bohemian, had her own priorities. I doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling, don't you think? It's Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her. Goodness me, Poppy really doesn't take care of her belongings, does she?
It wasn't in Poppy's room. It was in the little pond in the garden.
Exactly! Hardly the place for it. Finally! It's the detective's case file.
That's a very specific thing to be excited about.
Well, only last week I asked that miserable Hawkshaw woman if I could see her case notes.
I'm guessing she said no.
Would have been much more polite if she had just said no. Instead, she was quite rude to me. Accused me of being, what was it? A shallow sensationalist. You know, it's probably quite impressive. To a visitor, fresh eyes and all that.
Not to you?
Try living in it for 20 years. The sheen wears off. If it wasn't for my fits, I'd have little reason to stay.
What about inheritance? You're the next oldest pointer after your uncle, aren't you?
Well, thank you very much for phrasing it like that.
No,
any money left in the Pointer family will pass down directly to Poppy.
Is that fair?
I couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest. A fellow bird enthusiast. She's quite the expert, truth be told. Studied them professionally at one point. I think her father taught her.
Are you friends with Flora?
A little bit.
A little bit friends.
She's one for the peace and quiet. I dare say I'm a little too loud for her.
I can see that.
I do admire her, though, really. Always felt like she could have done better than settle for Felix.
Ouch.
你是要把什么抓去喂鸟？
I must say, I really don't care for the den of self-delusion that he's retreated into. People are better off when they just let themselves be themselves.
他好可爱哦。
Between you and me, I think Felix is secretly rather miserable. She mostly ignores me, if I'm honest.
How come?
Well, we're not quite on the same intellectual level.
Oh. I mean, well, you don't need to.
No. It's quite all right. I'm comfortable with it.
哇哦，他承认自己笨哎！好说女生老人谈生，对啊，他手在扭的时候超可爱，他就有种贵妇感，然后又很可爱，康康的。而且重点是他不会。
She was incredibly rude about my appearance.
Which part? The giant bird arms, or...
If I were her, I'd go easy on the judgment of others. I mean, look at her. She looks like the ghost of a scarecrow. I just wish Uncle Pointer would tell her to behave herself.
Professor Pointer? Why him?
Oh, it was Uncle that called her in. She's his responsibility. Did you not know that?
我觉得，哎，等一下，他刚是说是他那个是他叔叔叫他的，对不对？那个，我觉得他可爱的点是他虽然是那种贵妇气质，但是他很实在，他不会自视甚高，我觉得很可爱。
She'd sit in the aviary, first thing in the morning, and paint the birds. Sometimes she'd ask me their names.
Freya was interested in studying bird species too?
No, just wanted to know their names. Isabelle, Clementine, Myrtle, Lysandre, Genevieve.
Got it, thanks.
For my 21st birthday,
他
she
取的
gave me
名
a
字都
framed
很
painting.
棒哎。
All the birds from a single spring, with their names written underneath. I can't begin to tell you how much I've treasured it.
Sounds like you two were close.
I feel like I always struggled to articulate my admiration for her. But she had a way of understanding unspoken things. Isn't he strapping?
He is big.
And so brooding.
Kinda salty, yeah.
I can never tell what's going on in that beautiful head of his.
It just sounds like you don't know him very well.
I don't remember asking for your input. Oh, did you talk to Poppy already?
Yeah, a little bit.
And did you make any notes of what she told you?
Yeah, I did.
Lovely. Burn them. It'll all be lies.
Why would
Wow.
Poppy lie to us?
他
Because
超
that's
讨厌
what she
他哎。
does. She's a
哇，
snake. Looks like one too.
Don't you think you're being a little unfair, Penny?
She started it. Oh, she's beautiful. Who is she? Wait, is that me?
哦，怎么可爱？
We can get into Penny's room now.
Now, like, right now?
An especially fancy cage.
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
哦，哇，会不会是那个跟那个颜色一样？哦，有一样吗？好像没有。
They're bird cages. But the birds are coming and going freely.
Is that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is.
对耶，他把那个笼子做超大，所以其实基本上他们要不要那个
They steal your soul.
进去笼子都可以。
How do you get your hair so symmetrical without using a mirror?
I do by weight. I can feel if one side is heavier than the other.
这什么可爱的设定？
My little writing desk. It's kind of cute.
There's nothing written in the book, although someone's torn a page out of the middle. Check out that butterfly.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental.
头是天。然后我刚没看到贝贝，我也很爱他，我觉得他好可爱哦，他真的超可爱。
Does this count as being outdoors?
Yeah. No. Doesn't matter.
他头上的那只鸟真的是很可爱的造型。
A rather magnificent bush, somewhat cruelly confined to a stone pot.
There's a letter P carved into the side.
我去偷看他的房间。 哦，他的房间好美哦！哇哦，
That bed. It's like something from a fairy tale.
超级美耶！他的房间。
Does it feel warm over here, or is it just me?
No, you're right. Maybe the bed has some kind of heater.
It's not coming from the bed. It's coming from the wall. It's a birdhouse.
Are those real birds?
Oh.
Nope. They're wooden.
放帽子的假人。
They're using up all the perches. What if a real bird wanted to use it?
哦，这个应该。我没有观察到什么规律耶。嘴巴有张的不一样，然后眼睛也有不一样，这是唯一看中间，然后这是左右两边。如果是这样子的话，
Nope.
There must be some logic to how the birds are arranged. Something to do with those white lines.
我也在想，跟那个线应该有关。我觉得这是正中央，因为它的正中眼睛就跟这个一样。大绿色那里看起来快死，你说这只吗？这只吗？它看起来很厌世。规律是什么？左右两边眼睛一半。 点是这两只跟这两只到底怎么分别？如果这两只是就是这样子的话，我觉得还有机会。终于上班吗？上班，所以这只是你们的写照吗？没事啊，我礼拜四上完课也是长这样。如果只看眼睛的话，又觉得好像哪里不对，因为还有嘴巴，这样突然变张大了。时间变成淡绿咖啡，淡绿，然后咖啡。黄绿，这你说偷薪水吗？大家应该偶尔都会变这个吧，直接睡着。我上课都会有时候会变这样，有时候会先从这样变成这样，然后再变成这样，然后突然醒来就会变成这样，吓死。等一下，我想一下，嘴巴。这样试试看。
Nothing.
I think the birds are.
我也觉得鸟之间有关联，可是还是其实这个是在旁边的，然后这个在上面。哎，这样也很奇怪啊。我觉得它的张开嘴巴的顺序应该都差不多啊。还是其实是这样，上面是眼睛闭起来，然后中间就是有一条线的是在中间这样子。然后嘴巴张开的在右边或左边这样。
I guess that's wrong.
It's a family tree. The colors and eyes combine. You'll need to
等一下
start with.
太快了。他说这是族谱哦。哇，他讲太快了。Family tree。这样也不对啊。
I guess that's wrong.
It's a family tree. You'll need to start with blue and yellow.
为什么是蓝色跟黄色？哦，蓝色跟黄色才是绿色。我在想什么 ？Oh my god！ 然后如果是这样看的话，那这样怎么去判断左边右边嘞？这边都是闭嘴，这边都是张嘴，应该是这样咯。
I got it.
I'm impressed. Did the door open? What's in there?
可恶！我尝试的时候不是很想要有提示呢，可是不要抖。现在我要对付他。哈？
That's sunflower.
There's something weird about it. It just feels out of place.
Ever get the feeling you're being watched?
The mannequins don't have eyes.
我也觉得没有眼睛的比较不会可怕。
That's not a comforting sentence. This is the fanciest room so far.
Too fancy.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Ever get the feeling you're...
Manic-
That's... Anything in there?
Bed sheets.
啊，那如果是那种呢，公仔，你会怕吗？
That's not even
就是你
remotely
喜欢的
suspicious.
周边公仔之类的。
Traveling cases.
Empty.
那我觉得这小鸟很可爱，这应该你们不会怕吧？虽然它有眼睛。
A little bedtime reading.
Let's see. Romance novels, detective novels, and...
What?
This one appears to be both.
Nice.
A little tea set. Most recently used.
One of the cups has tea in it.
What's in the other one?
Birdseed.
所以它是跟就是鸟喝下午茶哦，怎么觉得有点可怜？
Traveling cases.
Empty. All of them.
哈，二次元角色也不行哦。哎，好吧。一堆眼睛看，我也有一堆小东西。
You know, I've always wanted one of those.
哎，这个我也会想要哎，感觉很漂亮。
System? What would you do with it?
I would look at it.
Oh,
Wait
wow.
a minute. Earth in the middle, sun on the outside.
地心说。
How old is this thing?
"这是另外一道光吗？哇，我要怎么让光跟那个一模一样啊？好难哦。这样可以吗？可是我觉得这样没有很准哎。啊，这个有。这个一定是在这啊，然后这个一定是在这，很明显。这个跟哦，它只能是移动大格，是不是？ 哦，这样子啦。有了。
No, that was it.
Nice work. Did you hear that? Something unlocked.
There's a little hatch underneath? What's in there?
A bunch of paper. Looks like somebody's research.
哦，金甲虫，棒棒糖。之前不是有很流行那个吗？星球棒棒糖，结果我到现在都还没吃过。不过为什么要有黄金甲虫？那要干嘛？
The notebook is untouched. It's completely blank.
So, even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
A picture frame.
对啊，正版的好像不便宜。
With no picture.
It's tidier than my desk. The notebook is untouched. It's completely blank.
So, even the most well...
It's a chart of the solar system.
真的假的？你讲到那个划破很多次舌头，我就想到之前你们知道有一个很久以前的叫 Smash 吗？然后他们是 Ian 跟 Anthony 吗？我忘记了耶，好像是，反正就是 Ian 跟另外一个人，然后他就舔棒棒糖，他那时候的挑战是要用舔的，然后把棒棒糖舔到就是结束，然后结果他的舌头直接大破皮，然后狂流血，最后还送医院。你知道那时候我朋友就是以一个你看好夸张哦的那个方式给我看影片，我直接晕血症。我直接在补习班，那时候我才国中，我直接在补习班差点晕倒，我超夸张，我直接那个在补习班的那个沙发上面发抖，我觉得超恐怖，我觉得超痛的，然后我就整个大晕血，我超爆晕，然后我就直接一个受不了我傻眼，超可怕。但如果大家现在要去找的话，可能还找得到那部影片哦。我是觉得很恐怖啦，反正就是在舔棒棒糖。
Which planet are you from, Sally? It's tidier than mine.
Even the most well.
A Spyglass to the Stars, Volumes 1 to 12.
全部用舔的就真的会大爆流血，而且他们那时候还为了要增加速度，他们还把那个棒棒糖，就是把它插在那个。会旋转那叫什么转，就是锁螺丝的那个东西上面电钻哦，然后它就是电钻，然后这样然后他就把舌头放上去舔，直接大破皮 ，Oh my god， 他整个嘴巴都是血。我原本还以为那做效果，但是好像不是，因为他们后来好像有送医院，但我也不确定啦，因为毕竟是我国中时候的记忆了，但非常的可怕，就是很可怕。
They're in very good condition.
The bell jar. It's empty.
What do people normally keep in bell jars?
速度太快，可是他在还没有用，我都忘记到底有没有这一段了。但我记得他原本刚开始舔的时候就已经就是开始有一点点渗血，那个没有就是那么简单，那个很可怕。
Other than bells, you mean?
What is it?
It's clearly some kind of large device.
敷衍。
You're not wrong. Pretty.
Let's at least introduce ourselves before touching his telescope.
Always a good roll.
Shh, listen. Do you hear them? The stars. They're whispering.
为什么这里面住的人都有很大的浪漫那个成分？摇摆屁股是怎样
？Are they spreading rumors about us?
I shouldn't think they concern themselves with such insignificance. We are but specks of dust, you and I.
我觉得他很投入啊，才会摇成这样。
standing in the astronomy tower of one Professor Percival Pointer.
Seems like this tower belongs to the Pointers, and the other one belongs to the Fellows.
Well observed, my dear. Tangle Tower is something of a duality, as it happens. Meaningless boundaries, really. They exist only in our minds.
Helpful.
那个是头发吗？那只是木板吧。
Me? Not much to say. Strictly
等一
speaking,
下，他
I'm
有
the
短一
current
下
head of the Pointer family. And of course, father
所以
to
那是
my
头发。
precious Poppy.
And a professional astronomer?
Oh no, that's just a little hobby. I mean, yes,
超
I've
cute
studied the stars for over 35 years, published 17 books.
Just a little hobby.
Sounds like you're quite well known. You must bring in a good amount of money.
Oh dear me, no. My field
搞
of
不好人家
research
天
has
生
never
的。
yielded any kind of stable financial return, nor would I expect it to. I am nothing but a humble interpreter for the cosmos, working to translate its message so that I may share it with the world.
Cool. Tell the Cosmos I say hi.
The day began as any other, with blissful, unremarkable routine. I took my usual morning walk around the gardens. Fresh air does wonders for the mind.
Did you see anyone else?
Penelope and
搞不好
Fitz
他
were in
头
the
发就特别
greenhouse
强
together.
硬啊。
I didn't bother them, of course. I sat for a while besides the pond in the garden. It's a favorite spot of mine. Eventually, I returned to my tower and buried myself in my studies for the afternoon.
Did you use your telescope yesterday?
Once the stars began to appear, naturally.
For how long?
I can't say. I've been known to lose hours at my telescope.
Did you see anything?
No actual discoveries, if that's what you mean.
So you were all alone up in the astronomy tower. Must have been a while before you found out what had happened to Freya.
Quite. Normally, I would be the last to find out about such a thing. But a curious tug of fate led me towards the fellow tower later that evening. I was at my telescope for the majority of the evening, but at one point I returned to my desk to look something up in a reference book. I couldn't find the book I wanted, so I figured Fiona must have borrowed it.
Fiona 是谁？
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall. I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library. She looked impatient and slightly frustrated.
Same as ever, then?
Quite. I passed her by and went upstairs to Fiona's room. The door was locked, but I could hear shouting coming from inside.
Fiona.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter. I had no desire to invade their privacy by eavesdropping, so I waited for them to finish and come out into the hall. Before I could ask about the book, Poppy grabbed my hand and took me upstairs along with Fiona. It was apparent that both of them had already been crying about something. We went up to Flora's tower. Freya was laying on her back, right in the middle of the room.
等一下，
Flora and Fitz were already there. They both looked stoic as ever. Felix and Penny
贝贝
arrived
为什么要
shortly
at
after we
自己
did, and then Fiona went downstairs with Poppy for some reason. I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Why did you leave so quickly? Wasn't there anything you could have done to help?
Don't take this the wrong way, but the whole ordeal is fellow family
啊，
business.
是退学的关系
I'm
哦。
quite sure they don't
原
need
来
me getting in the way at a time like that.
So, we found some research. What's up with this golden beetle? Is this something you're studying?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left behind by a previous
原来是
inhabitant
不能
of
回复
Tangle
回复
Tower.
的部分。
I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your astronomy tower.
等一下我没清楚看他讲了什么。
We found what's up with this golden beetle. Is this something you're...
I can't help. I think it must be. I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your astronomy tower.
What kind of flower is that?
We're not sure. I think it might be the only one of its kind.
Primrose would know. My wife was a floriculturalist. Best in the
可是他
field.
妻子呢？
That's a flower joke, but she was.
Interesting.
Well now, that is most definitely none of my business. Quite possibly none of yours either. That's rather a small cage for 3 birds, isn't it? But then, aren't we all trapped in a cage? I think you may wish to adjust your threshold of what you consider to be a clue. I've seen those earmuffs before. They're the ones Fitz always wears when he's out the front gardening.
Always wears?
Whenever I've seen him, yes. What a precious photograph. She hasn't changed a bit, has she? Who? Oh, if
你
you
怎么会
don't
觉得他
know,
没变？
perhaps I don't either. Oh, you found a murder weapon?
Steady on. It's just a gardening trowel.
他们的手
Looks like a weapon to me.
同一个家族嘛。
This looks a little rushed, even by Felix's standards.
At least he tried.
Yes, I suppose it's good for the old fellow to have a hobby. Keeps his mind from decaying, you know. This is supposed to be Felix, is it?
I think so.
I see he's afforded himself considerable artistic license. Curious creature, isn't it? Some sort of amphibious bipedal fishman.
Playing a trumpet.
Playing a trumpet, yes. Poppy's 2 closest friends. Freya looks so innocent there. These were drawn by Freya? She must have drawn that one of Hawkshaw rather recently.
I guess.
Freya was well acquainted with the abstract, I'll say that much.
What does it look like to you?
To me, it's a big, red
好
thing.
What a fascinating interpretation.
He's right, though. It is a big red thing.
A diary can be a wonderful outlet for an outpouring of one's soul.
How do you know it's a diary?
我还是觉得这个游戏的语音数量真的是太多太强了。
Fitz seems rather keen to grow things like this in his greenhouse, doesn't he?
What's wrong with that?
Well, you can't eat it. Makes you wonder why he bothers at all. What's this?
It looks like it might be a telescope. Thought you might know something about it.
Well, it certainly is a telescope. It has a part there to screw onto a tripod, you see. It's rather small, though. I'm not sure you could see many stars with it.
No, probably not.
Curious little thing, isn't it? Do you know what she keeps in there?
Nothing. At the moment. It was empty when we opened it.
How bizarre.
Can't a woman keep an empty egg in her room?
I haven't seen that tape for a long time. Who broke it?
No idea.
Ah, well, possessions are fleeting, my friends. Pointer property originally, purloined by the fellows. Typical.
眼镜的大小啊，对耶。
Here's a thought.
眼镜超小。
The paintbrush could be the murder weapon. After all, it was found at the scene.
可是他的眼球还好啦，至少眼球还在眼睛里面。
Is this important?
Possibly.
I find that painting to be in rather bad taste.
Oh, yeah?
The knife with real blood on it? The whole thing is rather vulgar. Isn't the process of decay fascinating?
It's not really decaying. It's plastic.
It's becoming one with nature, all the same. Not exactly a wealth of information, is it?
It's enough. So which one is Tangle Tower?
What's that?
There are 2 towers, right? Flora's Tower and your astronomy tower.
Neither? Truly, I have no idea. You'd have to ask Flora.
She named the house?
The whole thing is a result of her squabbling with her family.
With Felix, you mean? Her husband?
No, her brother and sister, and her father. The Remington family was a rather tumultuous little unit, you see. I don't think Flora has spoken with any of them in over a decade. My Poppy, my pride and joy. Exceptionally talented pianist from a young age. She... Hold on. Why is she on your list of suspects?
Because she's a suspect.
Oh, no. I can personally vouch for her innocence. She'd never... Well, the truth is, she loved Freya very dearly.
If you don't mind me asking, what happened to Poppy's mother?
Primrose? She was Flora's sister, a Remington by birth.
哈
The playing field has never
所以
really
原本
been
他们
easy
两
since she
两
left.
家有婚姻
Where
关
did she
系
go?
耶。
Away. She went away.
哦，
Ah, Penelope, our resident ornithologist.
Penny's your niece, is that right?
At this moment in time, until she marries the gardener.
She'll still be your niece.
But she'll depart from the world of the pointers and join the fellows. Like rats
完
deserting a
了，
sinking
可是他
ship.
女儿，哇，
I don't especially want to talk about myself. Introspection often leads to vanity.
Wait, does it?
Why don't we discuss the moons of Jupiter instead?
I'm not sure if we have time.
太
Aren't
多
there
了
like
不止
10 of them?
吧？
83.
对啊
Yeah, we don't have
不
time.
止啦，我就记得，我只记得可能将近100。木星的卫星就是那个，我记得木星是有一个环的那一个，对吧？它那个环全部都是卫星绕出来的，所以超级
What do you
多
want me to
卫
say?
星的。
He's the gardener.
He's a member of the family.
Yeah, but not the Pointer family.
What happened to his parents, do you know?
His father, Flint, is Felix's brother. Strange man. Don't think anybody knows what happened to him, but he certainly doesn't live here anymore.
What about his mother?
Emily? I've not met her. She never actually married into the fellow family. Her relationship with Flint was, it was
但
short-lived.
他帮他生了一个小孩，哎，
Nobody could deny her talent. She was remarkable, artistically gifted, but also highly intelligent.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive, you know.
Was she ever interested in astronomy?
I don't think she was. The fault may well lie with me for failing to inspire her. But I think she was captivated by more
应该
tangible
不是鼓
things
励
here
他，应该
on
是
Earth.
启发
My
他。
daughter loved her. Fiona, too. That said, in the last year or so, more and more I've begun to notice her by herself, wandering the gardens at the most peculiar hours. She must have explored every inch of the grounds 100 times over. Quite a restless spirit, I think. I'm surprised she chose to live at Tangle Tower as long as she
他没有
did.
注意到，就是他跟那个 Face 很好。
Hard to read, that one, but she seems to know what she's doing.
She's kind of mean.
You know, I simply assumed all detectives were sharp, rigorous, and thorough. Then, of course, I met you. A listless soul drifting through the ether.
What's wrong with her?
Not sure. She's always been troubled. Comes from a dysfunctional family.
他好像很不喜
I'd
欢
say you
他们
could
的
ask
家
her
族。
about it, but I think you might find that to be a bit of a dead end. He should learn to make the most of his lot in life. And he does have a lot.
怎么办？我觉得现在
You're
唯
talking
一
about money?
可能会
Among
不
other
喜欢
things,
他
but
的，反而
yes,
是
he currently
Fifi
has
耶。
agency over a small fortune. That is, if he hasn't already squandered it or lost it.
You two don't get on?
Oh no,
可
we're
是
the
Fifi 又
best
这么
of
喜欢
friends.
他，我觉得这样有点说不过去。
Ah, yes, the heiress of Tangle Tower. Goodness knows what'll happen when she takes charge. I dare say she'll confiscate my telescope and replace it with a microscope.
She doesn't seem to be the type to impress her will on others.
Still, keep an eye on her. Dangerously intelligent, that one.
You sound jealous. Wait, are you two science rivals?
Oh no, we operate on very different wavelengths. Literally.
That's all the statements.
Let's go over them all.
想先去看一下大厅，好像有族谱，对不对？
What is that?
I think it's a family tree.
哦，哇哦，全部都是英文名字。
Richard Remington.
The one and only. Felix Fellow.
We met him. He's one of the suspects.
Flint Fellow. I guess he doesn't live here anymore.
Oh, wow. 有点看不懂。诶，我每一个证词都看过了吗？哦，有。
That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add up.
To see if anyone's been lying.
That too.
Fitz and I were up in the Moonlight Garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. So I made Fitz kick down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my
哇，
ascent,
他这样子整理也太贴心。
I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after.
对 Felix，
A moment later, we were
他
gazing
说
down on the body
他
of
听到了
Poppy.
2次脚步声哎
Then。I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the statements line up with each other.
They don't just line up. Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other.
哎，可是有人不是说
That's all the statements collected. It's the little boat we used to cross the lake. It's the only way on or off the island.
What a comforting thought.
It's a bird bath. Is that just rainwater? Looks a little
The
weird.
birds seem to like it.
They're even singing a little tune. Toot, 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 toot.
Please don't do that.
我们还有哪里没有调查到吗？
It's full of the same.
Any fish in there?
Not as. Although there.
It's a cassette, or it used to be. Is that an envelope?
It's been opened, but the letter's still in there. Let's read it.
Isn't that an invasion of someone's privacy?
因为结果密函在这。
No, definitely.
密码画在另外一张纸上，记住之后就赶紧毁掉。你说的我不同意，你去下面是找不到的。What?
Do you think he'll start to move if we try to go?
No. Should we ring the door?
Why would we not? It's a little melody. Don't think it's locked.
No, that means we
I'm pretty sure that's the rule, yeah.
This belongs to you, Hawkshaw?
Correct.
And, what is it?
It's my handheld microscope for up-close investigation work.
What do you magnify with it?
Trace particles, dust, oils, clothing fibers.
Have you used it here at Tangle Tower?
I have. I used it to examine the greenhouse only 2 days ago.
What were you looking for?
That is between myself and my client. The people here are surprisingly materialistic, considering how sheltered they are.
Materialistic?
Growing this fruit simply because it produces a gemstone-like material. For what possible purpose, other than financial gain?
You're speculating.
What would you do, Grimoire, if you could grow valuable stone straight from the earth?
可是他感觉只有那个
Diary. Have you read it?
只想要
Not yet. It's locked.
只想要观看
And
而已
you。haven't attempted to force it open?
That would be cheating.
I admit, it's powerful. Freya was a talented young woman.
Someone even liked it enough to take a photo of it.
Now, we don't know why they took the photograph, do we? Perhaps they just wanted it for reference.
When did Freya draw the picture of you, Hawkshaw?
I didn't
可是你要住在那边
That's what you're
啊。
asking. She must have done it without my permission.
Could just be from memory. It's not quite as detailed as the others, anyway.
A photograph of Freya could be important. Some breed of amphibious humanoid, potentially bipedal, although none of the statues show the creature's feet.
I guess we'll never know.
I'd tell him not to quit his day job, but he hasn't got one, has he?
对啊，你要住在那边哎，那边都是一些怪人哦。
These figurines remind me of a case I once solved involving a possessed
虽然很可
dog.
爱，但是都是
Turned
怪
out to
人
be a
哦。
bit of a smokescreen, as these things often do.
Your life sounds fun. Grimoire, why don't we ever have fun adventures like that?
Are we not having a fun adventure right at this very moment?
他刚刚感觉好像在哄女友，好
This
可
is
爱
a
啊。
potential murder weapon, is it not?
I don't know.
难道他们不怪吗
I don't think the murder？
他们怪得很有特色啊，
just lying
怪得很可爱。
I think you'd be surprised as to what people leave lying around. Who's that?
Not sure. It doesn't really look like anyone we've met so far.
Strange. One of 3 statues depicting the same creature. This one is wearing headphones. Perhaps they belong to someone who likes music.
They're not headphones. They're earmuffs. For blocking out sound.
Perhaps they belong to someone who doesn't like music. Do you also have a pile of leaves as a clue?
Oh, not yet. Did you see some suspicious leaves?
3 birds, 1 cage. What makes them worth keeping cooped up, I wonder? Would they not be happier flying free?
But then they might fly away from Tangle Tower entirely.
I wonder if they
好
will.
像也是啦，他们彼此生活
These
的
people really are
蛮
ridiculous,
开
aren't
心
they?
的。
And you consider that important evidence, do you? Where did you find this?
Do you have any theories about where this might have been?
Or who might have had it?
I have several theories. But they are my theories, and I'm not going to share them. Conveniently left anonymous. It's useless until you can prove to whom it concerns. Can you do that?
No.
No. Professor Pointer is a respectable astronomer. Keeps himself to himself. What?
We're just surprised.
That was the most polite you've been about anyone.
Did you get anything useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But
贝贝晚安。
so tedious.
快休息吧，晚
I
安，晚
find her rather
安。
embarrassing. Little more than a spoiled child.
Penny must be at least 25.
27. Just makes it worse. Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition. No focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely. I'll say this. He's well suited to physical labor.
That's a nice way to put it.
Fitz spends most of his time alone in the greenhouse. But I heard he's been breeding experimental flowers. In secret.
Whoa, scandal.
I just wonder if he's getting restless. Poppy has remarkable musical talent. She could be famous, wealthy even, if she wanted to.
She'd probably have to leave Tangle Tower first.
Quite.
补完了。
There's something about Hawkshaw's handheld microscope. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
This little microscope thing, you said you used it to search the greenhouse.
And this would make perfect sense, if you knew what my client had asked me to find. Of course, I still have no intention of disclosing that information.
You're such a tease, Hawkshaw. Don't worry, we already worked out what you're searching for.
受雇寻找什么？哇？找啥啊？
That's not right.
找这个吗？
That's not right.
啊，这个吗？
That's not right.
受雇寻找什么？
That's not right.
完全想不到那个。等一下，埋进洗手台也太可怕了吧！赶快休息，赶快休息。找什么？这个
That's not right.
不对啊，他要找什么小小的东西？这个吗？
That's not right.
哎，哦，靠背，这个啦。
You're not as hopeless as you look.
Thanks.
So, that's what you were looking for in the greenhouse? This
为什么
beetle?
直接一个
Surely even
脑袋
you
转不
can
过来？
understand the logic of it. The greenhouse is home to a great many insects. The gardener could have easily kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned him, but didn't actually search the greenhouse.
He is not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety. He simply didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you reckon, Grimoire?
I know for a fact she didn't use the microscope in the greenhouse. It's not a microscope at all.
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on microscopes.
handheld microscope is a part of a telescopic lens, so Hawkshaw lied about it. Almost. Maybe just change one thing. The handheld microscope is a part of a microscopic lens, so Fifi stole it. Nope.
Eh. 它应该是属于一个望远镜头啊，因为刚那个教授说它是望远镜，所以应该是最后这里错了吧。
The handheld microscope is a part of a telescopic lens, so Hawkshaw stole it. That's not right.
Fifi 有告诉我们镜头的奇怪之处，有吗？我哪会不会给你？
The handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a fake glass lens, so Hawkshaw lied about it. Almost. Maybe just change one. The handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a fake glass lens, so Hawkshaw stole it. That's not right either.
等一下，应该是撒谎，没错。
The handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a microscopic lens, so Hawkshaw lied about it. Almost.
那你？我完全忘记了，我现在也不能退出去，回去看 Fifi 讲什么。Oh my god！
The handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a magnifying glass, so Hawkshaw lied about it. Almost.
镜头之处。
The handheld microscope,
不是啦，
almost.
是这个吧？
The handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses Fifi's eye gear, so Hawkshaw lied about it. Almost. Maybe just
我弄视力强化了呢。哎，靠！我刚刚不是就有用这个吗？
The handheld microscope, according to Fifi.
为什么我刚刚竟然没这样子搭过？我以为我搭过了。可恶！
When it comes to stuff like this.
Hawkshaw, why did you lie about owning a telescope?
When you were a child, what did you aspire to become?
A detective, naturally.
Emperor of the Galaxy.
啊，刚刚是属于哦，哦，好吧。
Really? I harbored a desire to understand the secrets of the wider universe. A fool's errand, to be sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided instead to apply my intelligence to the world around me. And so, I became a detective. But the yearning for elusive knowledge is a powerful force. I tried to keep it with me.
Sorry, but we're way off track. What's the deal with the little telescope?
A memento. My childhood. Little more than a toy.
Why did you bring it with you?
When I discovered that it was Professor Pointer who had hired me, I dared to consider it something of a planetary alignment. I had hoped he might sign my telescope. An extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you didn't use it in the greenhouse then?
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to such a degree. Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a suspect in our theft investigation.
So, who is your suspect?
Things have become complicated. My lead suspect is your murder victim.
哈？哈？你觉得是自杀？
A giant glowing
AKA a green. I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you? Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
Do they have names?
Of course. Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
好难哦。
all three of those names.
Which one is which?
Oh, that's simple. Tatiana is the oldest. Tabitha is the most patient.
不能讲颜色吗？
Best sense of rhythm.
Glad we cleared that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head? He's just my hat. He doesn't have a name. Who would name their hat?
原来是帽子哦。
That's rather strange now, isn't it?
We found it in your room.
Just lying around, was it?
Nope.
谜题解答是帽子。
But we found it.
We do that.
Who's the her in the message? And what's the deal with the petals?
It's really none of your business.
这样就搭船回家，直接不务正业。
Yes, it's my my flower.
You don't like it?
I'm no good at caring for plants. I forget to water them.
我总觉得我没有把所有东西都找齐，不然它应该会整个排满满的，刚刚好。
Do you at least like the look of the flower?
The look?
The colors? The shape of it?
Between you and me, I think it's a little vulgar. Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
哈，真的假的？这是可以没有强迫症的事情吗？很不舒服哎。
I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Noted.
Hello. Who penned this juicy little number?
We don't know. It's not signed.
An anonymous letter? Classic clue.
There's something about the report of Fitz going up Pointer Tower. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
There's something about those petals we found in Penny's room. Something suspicious.
直接马上绕回去。
Let's ask her about it.
Penelope's 3 favorite birds. She's very protective over them.
Are they, like, her pets? Do they have names?
Oh, they have names. Penelope loves to name things.
Do you remember what she named them?
对啊，直接一直过去再回来，过去
These
再回来。
petals, they,
What?
they're red. A flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to. I've seen beetles with brightly colored shells, metallic shells even. They're relatively common, especially around here. There's a difference between that and actual gold.
It can't be actual gold. Gold is just inside the earth or whatever. You can't make it. It's called alchemy. It was a whole thing.
How odd.
So, Fitz, I have a report that you were seen sneaking up Pointer Tower. Holding a knife.
That's not right. I don't go into Pointer Tower. I don't own a knife. And I don't sneak. Was it Fifi who told you this?
How did you know that?
A guess. She doesn't like me very much. But yeah, she was mistaken. Maybe she wasn't wearing her eye lens thing.
What do you think, Grimoire?
Fifi did see Fitz, but he was holding something else.
So, if it wasn't a knife, what was it?
What about this?
Ah, that.
Is it yours?
It was a gift. It's sentimental. I have no reason to take it up Pointer Tower. I don't use it at all.
哇，等一下。
An ornate trowel was used to bury a single feather in the garden. Nope.
有什么需要被？
An ornate trowel is used by Fitz to look. That's not right.
哦，这个吗？
An ornate trowel is used by Fitz to look after a potted flower in
他还会特地去照顾那盆花哦。
That flower.
Yes?
I've never seen it before.
We need a clue to compare to that flower. Something that proves its connection to Fitz.
那个花，这个吧，都一样是那个蓝色的。
Let's take a closer look at these. The pot and soil. No.
我没有弄到这个。
The pot and soil in Penny's room matches the pot and soil found in Fitz's greenhouse. Let me guess. Penny's flower was originally a gift from you, Fitz. There's no way it's a coincidence.
No way what's a coincidence?
The flower. It looks exactly like Penny.
It took me a long time to breed. I wanted the colors to be exactly right.
That's some gift.
他对她真
Turns
好
out。 Penny isn't particularly interested in looking after plants. So I go into her room every now and again. When she's not there, water the flower, change the soil. Just trying to keep it alive.
哇，那他其实原本也是对她好的耶。
Penelope is my fiancée.
Don't take this the wrong way, but Penny doesn't really strike me as your type.
She's not who she pretends to be. People think she's... well, they make assumptions.
And how's the relationship doing recently?
Good. It's good.
等一下，所以他写的那个 P 是 Penny， 不是 Poppy 吗？哇，等一下，完蛋了，他到底喜欢的是谁？
I imagine
两个都是
you don't
PP
visit the
耶
astronomy tower too often, do you?
Oh my god！
No, but I still see Pointer sometimes. He's always curious about what I'm growing in the greenhouse.
Oh my
Asks me
god！
about the birds too, and
他们
insects.
三个到
He's
底是
pretty
怎
clued up
样
on？ his evolutionary biology.
I didn't think there was much overlap between astronomy and biology.
Yeah.
原来是叫送吗？好吧。
That's nothing. You wrote, "Now I'll get her," on a piece of paper and hid it in your room. That's not nothing.
Actually, it's not the message I wanted to ask about. It's those red flower petals.
The petals?
They're from red roses, and there's only one place in Tangle Tower with red roses.
We need a clue. Something that shows the roses, and who they belong to.
要怎么说那个是这个吗？
It's a drawing of Fitz and Poppy in the rooftop garden. See what Fitz is holding?
I can't imagine what you're getting at, but it doesn't matter. I couldn't have taken anything from the rooftop garden. It's only accessible from Fitz's room or Poppy's room. How could I have taken something from a garden to which I have no access?
Is it really only accessible from those 2 bedrooms?
For most people, it would be. But don't forget, Penny's the resident on a
而且还有羽毛。
My dears, what are you accusing me of?
One of Penny's birds was used to spy on Poppy and Fitz and steal evidence from them. We know those two have been spending time together in the rooftop garden. I'm guessing you got paranoid. Wanted to know what they were up to.
I'm just not the jealous type. I would never suspect Fitz of anything like that.
这次的比较明
Tabitha
显
hardly
啦。
ever leaves her cage. She's certainly never flown up to the rooftop garden.
We need a clue
有
to
一些
compare Penny's，
因为有一
birds.
些是我觉得
Something to
是
prove
英文
one
的
of them
文
has
法
been in
问
the
题，
rooftop garden.
就是中文会比较难去判断。
Let's take a closer look at these. This yellow feather was left behind by Penny's yellow bird when it visited the rooftop garden.
I can't stand it! Knowing the 2 of them are hidden away up there in their private little garden. I couldn't risk spying on them myself, so I asked dear Tabitha to do it for me. I knew she'd be able to bring me back some evidence.
Sorry, Penny, but are you not overreacting a little?
You don't understand. Fitz is slipping
哦，没有
away
看到
from
帽
me.
子张开眼睛
He's
哎
so。quiet with me these days. But being with Poppy seems to bring him out of his shell.
哦，
I don't know what he sees in her miserable little... I apologize. This really isn't your burden to bear.
哦，他也很可怜呢。哦。
I see a lot of birds up in the rooftop garden. They seem to really like it up there.
Why's that?
It's quiet.
Do you know where those earmuffs came from?
I put them there.
Why?
Found them lying around. I think they belong to Fitz. I put them on the statue so he'd see them. I thought they looked like headphones. Like he's in the recording studio with his guitar. No?
If they do belong to Fitz, he hasn't taken them back yet. When did you find them?
This morning.
Where?
I don't know.
等一
In
下
that hallway.
他说他已经不见一个礼拜了哎。
I think it's kind of cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. But I don't think they're allowed to go far. Penny can be a little protective. Those petals.
What about them?
It's nothing. They're just unusual. Never seen that one before. Was it in the greenhouse?
No. We found it in Penny's room.
Right. You get some weird insects around here, but I've never seen one like that.
I'm not sure anyone has.
感觉 Poppy 也就是懂
She used to keep beetles in a box in her room.
Why?
For fun, obviously. Don't you think that's weird? That the letter isn't addressed to anyone or signed by anyone?
Someone's being deliberately secretive.
Or they're trying to manipulate you.
他的我们怀疑过了吗？有。
Name: Percival Pointer. Age: 57. Profession: none.
I'm pretty sure he's an astronomer.
Oh, yes, of course. How uncharacteristically forgetful of me. Name: Penelope Pointer. Age: 27. Profession: ornithologist. Likes: birds. Dislikes: insects. Notes: Penelope is very beautiful. I have never had very much in common with her.
It's an illustrated book about birds.
It's been left open. Looks like somebody was halfway through reading it.
Or it was left open for us to find.
Ever so slightly unnerving.
Oh.
Is that a snow globe?
Of sorts.
Ooh.
Hey, look at that. It's a model of Tangle Tower.
我觉得一定是完整的一面。
What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing souvenir.
Hey, look at that. It's a model. What do you think?
That would make...
Hey, look, it's a... What do you think?
That would make...
Hey, look at... It's a model.
That would make... What's in those bottles?
刚跳了什么成就?
I'm not sure. Soil samples?
刺客安呐
Sure, why not build...
The yard's downright poet.
Somebody taking an interest in extinct animals.
Extinct?
Oh, yes. The book is very old. Most of the birds in it are long gone.
Well, what about this bird, though? The ink dip.
This one? Well, it was thought to be extinct for a long time. Then one was found here at Tangle Tower.
So it's not.
好啊好哦，等应该再等一下下应该就会有了吧？陪你等，陪你等。
Oh.
最后一只会不会是跟那个有关啊？他是不是有做一只鸟？
The statue was up in the rooftop garden.
Yes, it's been there a while. You can see the brass is slightly tarnished by the elements, but it's not too bad. Might be salvageable. Oh dear.
Do you know who this is?
Not a clue. Is that a clue? Really?
It might be.
Bizarre things, aren't they? Penelope seems rather attached to them.
Do you not feel sorry for them in that little cage?
Come now, I'm sure they could leave if they really wanted to. Goodness me! That looks like it might belong to Fitz. What's this all about? Some kind of rare jewel?
I'm pretty sure the research is about a real insect.
If it's made of gold, then it's made of gold. I'm as confused as you are. Where did you find that?
It was in the library.
Really? How odd.
我们还有谁没怀疑过啊？他吗？
Anything we should know? Any hobbies, besides staring out the window? We met Felix, your husband. He's one of our suspects, and he seems pretty suspicious if you ask me. So, if you want to stick up for him, now's your chance.
Nice try. We spoke to your daughter Fifi. She's some kind of super intelligent scientist. You must be proud of her.
我看只剩那个这一个还没，那个 Flora 跟 Pointer 两个人还没怀疑过。
I assume she didn't get anything out of you either. I bet that really ticked her off.
Do you and Fitz have anything to do with each other? Other than your initials? Do you and Poppy get along?
Nothing. Shocker. Grimore, what could you possibly be writing down?
Oh no, I gave up making notes ages ago. Now I'm just doodling in the margins. What do you know about Penny?
很不专业。
I can't really imagine those two being friends, to be honest.
You never know. You know the guy in the other tower? Weird astronomy professor guy?
Can you see him from your window? Can he see you?
Oh, 好问题。
Is this your gramophone?
Do you know why it's cracked?
他都没有想要理人。
Flora, this is your egg?
乱画。
Why do you keep it locked?
他可能是怕睡着。
Is there supposed to be something in there, or is it always empty?
This is a photo of Fifi, isn't it? Your daughter? Do you know anything about these birds? Or birds in general?
Do you recognize any of these feathers?
You haven't seen this yet, have you?
It's a little model of you. Who were the other people next to you? What do you think of your husband's hobby?
Do you have any hobbies?
啊，都不讲话也太扯了吧！好想知道他的声音
Do you know anything about this beetle? Have you seen this book before? Do you know who it belongs to?
哎
I really thought she was gonna say something there.
我也以为。
The outline of Freya Fellow. There's a single... No?
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the canvas.
So?
So she was probably standing...
Let's check the case file again. There it is, the unfinished...
So...
Looks that way.
这都看过了。
Freya's painting supplies. Freya's painting supplies. A little pot plant, balanced on the window ledge.
It's the only plant in the entire room.
The whole room is a...
Yeah, there might be a reason.
Where on earth did you find that?
It was in a bush outside. I think someone threw it away.
How peculiar. That's a very old book, isn't it? Looks like someone could have taken better care of it.
I like the look of a well-read book. Better than one that's never been opened.
Ah, well put.
我们要怎么样才能怀疑他啊？
There's something kinda disappointing about this room. I just expected a bit more from an astronomy tower.
Oh, does it not compare to all the other astronomy towers you've been to?
We already solved it.
哇，我们是有在哪一间房子里面没有找到什么东西的吗？
There are weeds in there.
It's an aquarium.
Could be anymore. This one has a bit. How very
Sally, check.
Is soil a clue?
Sally, check.
Is soil a clue? Finally, we get to it.
It's not that spooky.
Don't ruin this.
A big.
Of course. Who doesn't hang a giant banner there?
It's not locked.
A door.
Oh, what's behind it?
A room.
还有哪里是我没有发现过，就是隐藏的东西的吗？这里其实好像没有。
What's with those little windows down there?
I think they're there for draining rainwater.
Oh.
They're bird cages, but the birds are coming.
Is that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is.
Bird diagrams. Hand painted.
They're beautiful. Someone really knows their stuff.
Bird diagram.
They're beautiful.
My little writing desk.
There's nothing written in the book.
Can't say I've ever taken an interest in Uncle's astronomy. On occasion, I've dared to visit him in his tower, but I always regret it. It's all just a little too abstract for me.
What do you mean?
Oh, did you know the sun is apparently over 400,000 miles wide? Okay, so what should I do with that information? How does it help me?
Don't look at me. You're the one who memorized it.
Who is that in the photo?
I'm quite sure that I have no idea.
还敢装啊
That blade.
It's a troll for gardening.
It is?
What's wrong?
Earmuffs do not go on statues. What a mess. Penelope should tidy up after herself.
These weren't dropped by Penny. They were dropped by birds, I think.
My argument stands. I am scared of birds.
Why?
It is an irrational fear. I have no suitable explanation.
他只是怕。
Oh.
Who is this her to whom the message refers?
Well, I don't know exactly.
Then how can I meaningfully evaluate this object? Next! It is a flower. It reminds me of something, but I cannot say what. Now this is interesting. Where did you find it?
In the astronomy tower.
And yet, it does not concern the field of astronomy.
Nope.
In fact, you could even say that entomology is the exact opposite of astronomy.
Yeah, you could.
I would not say that, however.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No, it would be quite naive. To study science in any field is to study the connections between all matter in the universe, living or inanimate.
他妈讲得很浪漫呢。
Do you know who was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
No, my mother has not been in the library for some time.
There's something about the image of Flora in the painting.
哦，终于有了。
Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
这样还有教授哎。
So, this painting, Specifically that knife in Flora's hand.
Yeah, it's creepy. But we didn't find a knife anywhere in the room. So what's going on?
It's not a knife. We need a clue to compare with the painting. Something to explain what that knife shape actually is.
That kinda makes sense, but no.
这个
That kinda makes sense.
不是羽毛吗？啊，这个啦，它有画一个小小的。
Let's take a closer look at this. The painted knife is actually just a feather from an ink-dip bird.
It's definitely the right shape, but the book's not in color. The thing Flora's holding in the painting is red and white, specifically. Is there anything to suggest that the ink-dip bird is red and white too? This little thing? I don't understand why Felix would make a model of this bird as part of a gift for Flora. And come to think of it, why would Flora be holding a feather in the painting anyway?
因为他曾经是研究鸟的。这个是什么奇怪的文法
She kept a single feather to remember it by.
She kept the bird as a pet, and it died?
Maybe it flew away.
Flora spends all her time staring out the window.
Either way, she kept the feather.
哦，所以她是在等鸟回来。
All right. So she was holding the feather while Freya was painting her. But where is it now? You'd think she'd keep it somewhere close by.
Yeah, I think she does. Normally. This is where Flora usually keeps her feather.
那个蛋。
But we opened it. It's empty.
Mm-hmm. Completely empty.
他说话了吗？
Flora? She's pointing at something in the corner of the room.
It's just a pile of books. They're not... Wait, there's something tucked inside this one.
Oh, wow. Aww.
A bunch of old books covered in dust now, but... I like these drawings, Flora.
Is there a reason why you wanted us to see them?
Wow, 他很爱那些鸟哎。
These drawings are quite precious. I'm surprised Flora let you see them.
What happened to the bird? Did it die?
I don't know. Seems likely, though, doesn't it?
It's that bird. But these must have been drawn at least a year ago. Oh, how sad.
That belongs to Flora, I think. How sweet.
哇，我要怎么怀疑？
A book from the library. One of hundreds, no doubt. What makes this one special?
It's about birds.
Yes, I see that. Does Flora still own that bird? Do you know?
Don't think so. The drawings are from a few years ago.
I see.
我是不是有少找什么啊？
Freya drew these.
Yeah, I think so. There's a note on the back.
But she never showed them to me.
Well, I think it was a gift for your mother, like a private thing between Freya and Flora.
Wow, 那我还有哪里没有找到嘞？
Yes, very nice. Where is that bird of Flora's? It's been a while since I've seen it.
It's tidier than my desk.
So, even the most well...
It's a chart of which planet...
It's an octopus.
No, it's not. It has 6 legs, not 8. Don't say it.
Sextopus.
Anything in the drawer?
Nothing you need to know about.
看来是女生的东西。
There's a name for you know. Sheet music. Presume
It's only a few notes. I'd barely even call that music.
Yeah, it's been framed though. Must be important for some reason.
More handwritten sheet music.
Yeah, it's mine.
还有两个东西。
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized. Yeah, it's mine.
What's so special about it?
I got it from my teacher. It's the first piece I ever learned.
How long have you been playing?
Since the day I turned 6. Family tradition. I was really excited to start learning. As soon as I got out of my first lesson, I told Freya and Fifi all about it. When I arrived at my second lesson the next day, Freya was there too. She hadn't asked permission, just showed up. For 2 whole years, the teacher taught us both.
Was Freya any good?
She would have been even better than me, if she'd stuck with it. But one day, she just stopped coming to lessons.
Why?
That's just it. There was no reason. That's when I realized things were different for her.
I've never been one for music. Why not ask Poppy instead?
Puffer fish?
Yes. It's also a lamp, for some reason. We already solved it.
A map with a dotted line and an X marked on it.
That's a very boring way to describe a treasure map. The entire room?
Oh, it's not just made of wood. I think it's the actual hull of a ship. An old wooden mask.
Probably cursed. The entire room
我还有
is
哪里
made
没有
of wood.
注意到啊？我只能一个一个房间重新
Oh, it's
点一
not just
遍。
made. I think it's the actual hull.
Shelf junk.
他直接说是人家废物。
The entire room is.
Oh, it's not. I think it's the actual.
It's a magic lamp. Can we summon the genie?
If we get really stuck, sure. It's Earth.
If Earth was made of paper and gave off a gentle pink light.
That's a massive conch shell. Do you think there's a little crab living inside?
I hope so.
想一下，还有谁的房间有可能会有东东？
That's a whole lot of books. Fifi's got something pinned up here.
What is all this?
Looks like Professor Pointer.
It's Detective Hawkshaw.
And that's you, Sally.
What? I do I? It's Poppy. That's actually a pretty good drawing. Looks like Fitz.
I think that's supposed to be Felix. That's gotta be Flora.
It's a drawing of Penny.
可是如果他是说互相有关系的话，那他怎么会是
It's
那
a
个
drawing
嘞
of Penny.
Is Fifi trying to...
Maybe. Did you ever try that?
Is...
Maybe. Did you ever try?
Is Fifi...
Maybe. Did you ever try?
Did you notice who isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself. That's a whole...
Boxes of stuff.
It's a magnifying.
How come you don't have one?
Why? Because I'm a detective. Should I start?
You can pull.
Pretty ornate.
We're supposed to be looking.
And over here, you'll see the owners use sheets of paper to block out all that unnecessary natural light. A simple trick, but it really transforms the space.
还有哪里呢？
A wooden trunk. That
I want one.
There's a metal plaque.
Is there a message?
I think there was at one point, but someone scratched it off. A pointless.
I don't know.
Want to play hide and
I
seek?
could be persuaded. It's Tangle Tower. Or at least it's the mansion at the base of Tangle Tower. It's a big stone.
Biggest one I've ever. First one too.
哇哇，很难呢。
It's too cloudy to see any stars right now.
It's also daytime.
It's too cloudy.
It's also daytime.
Every astronomy tower needs a telescope.
I want to try.
Oh.
You can see right into Flora's room.
Not by accident.
I can see Flora, but she's not looking this way. She's looking up. Behind her is the backside of the easel holding Freya's unfinished painting. I can't really see anything behind it. Not from this angle.
It's that little plant Flora keeps on the window ledge.
Don't you think it would fall off? In the wind.
Maybe it's glued down.
I can see the doorway. It leads into the hall. The door itself is on the floor, knocked off its hinges. You can see right in...
Not by...
I can see Flora. Behind her, I can't really see... You can see right...
Not by...
I can... Behind her is the backside of the... I can't really see anything. I can just about see the gramophone.
Is that a window?
I think it is.
Is there another room above Flora's room?
We should check that next time we're over there. Isn't this supposed to be an astronomy telescope? I'm pretty sure you need to see the sky for astronomy to work.
I can't move it. I think this is just how it's set up.
There's something about Pointer's
他根本就只是想要看那个而已啊。
So, Professor,
他是变态吗？
astronomy exactly?
傻眼呢。
It's not a matter of being interested. Once you expand your mind to the wider universe, it cannot be unexpanded.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
I have a theory about you, Professor.
Oh? Go on.
You're not really interested in astronomy at all.
What could you possibly mean by that?
I think you're interested in a slightly different field of research.
That's not it.
好了，这个那不是这个吗？
That's not it. That's not it.
哈，不就是那个吗？安安，续1994-07-06，这个是 Tangle Tower。所以他，哈？可是他不是就是在乎那个 Flora 吗？
That's not it.
不是啦，这个啦，哦，傻眼。
I don't have time for tiny, insignificant insects. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Right. That's why you like using your telescope so much.
Yes, naturally. My little portal into another world.
Yeah, about that. Pointer's telescope was actually looking at the crime scene and not up at the sky.
First, you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of, what, spying?
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
Why? Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid.
所以它是不见了。
You think somebody stole it from you.
Might not have been Flora you were spying on. Might have been Freya.
It's a very precious specimen. Incredibly rare. Valuable in ways you could never understand. Freya was always sneaking around, both towers and in the gardens too. She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
对耶。
No, I didn't. When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
What?
Flora? You mean Freya?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark. The telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
This changes your statement, doesn't it?
No, everything I told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your tower in the first place.
Right.
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene.
为什么两个？
Freya was definitely up to something.
Something to do with the statue in the garden, I think.
Maybe we should go back and check. And we could have missed something.
等一下，先暂停一下，我先上个厕所，等我一下哦。 好了，飞来了。
We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think? Was Freya stabbed by her own painting?
当然不是啊。
The painted ink-dip feather was used to paint the red tip of blood from the paint pot to hide the evidence. Nope. Paint from the paint pot. That's not. Paint from the paint pot was replaced by. That's not right either. The painted ink dip feather. That's not right either.
哎，等一下，证明魔法的存在是什么意思啊？有一点点，他吃逻辑没吃的那么重，主要还是看故事。不过有时候还是会就是不知道怎么办啦。因为中文的文法就这游戏会有点怪怪的，有时候会有点不是很好知道它到底要表达什么。
The painted ink dip. That's not.
哇，等一下，什么时候有这个？它每一个放的会看起来不一样啊。
A real knife was designed. That's not right either. The painted ink dip feather. That's not right either. Paint from the paint pot. That's not right either. Paint from the paint pot was replaced by. That's not right either.
哇，我超级错了吗？
The painted flora was used to paint the red tip of blood from the paint pot to resemble.
如果是以它英文的念法，应该是这样啦。
from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink-dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
现在根本就是在考英文。
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
I have a question. Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
什么是主谓宾？
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the
对啊，
feather,
我根本就是在
unless
听英文
someone
啊。
took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time. It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope, but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it
会
not
不会是
important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what and more interested in the how.
Oh. Wow.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing right up by the canvas.
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in line with the painting.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over?
我觉得是先跌倒再刺的，不然她的血不会只有一滩，她应该会是洒出来的。这什么？
This wasn't here before.
What is it?
It's a little wooden toy. Looks kind of like a crab.
There's a note stuck to the back.
What does it say? Grimoire?
啊？我的新朋友，他喜欢音乐，简单旋律会震撼他的灵魂。祝你们两位好运。什么意思？
What do you think? Is it really from her?
How can it be?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya's diary?
Good idea. Hold on.
Well?
It's a perfect match.
Oh, it's confirmed. We have a ghost helping us.
不是这个结论吧？
Let's keep this to ourselves for now.
What about the little wooden toy thingy?
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use.
哈？什么意思？
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I
这样
have
应该就可以那个了吧？ 哦哇！我原本以为今天可以结束，看来要等明天了。不过我有先想到两个东东。飞天小女警吗？好像有一点哦，就是美式画风。
We're at the top of the tower, right?
I think so.
Doesn't matter. It's piano music.
没有吗？他没有反应吗？
Weird.
It's someone humming a tune.
Hello. Oh, wow.
Just dusty junk. It's a statue of a wolf. Standing up straight, like a man.
You know there's a name for that.
I know.
It's not quite as dusty as everything else up here. Also, it's not a statue. It's stuff. What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
You know, maybe
它有恶趣味。
Where's that light coming from?
Well, it's just daylight, I think. There's a decent gap between those floorboards.
这完全可以刺杀他。
Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? Is that what I... Is that what I think it is? What is that?
Not sure. Some kind of reel?
Looks like it might attach to something.
这很明显啊，就是刺下去之后把它卷上来。
Just dusty junk.
It's a jar. The head screws off.
Huh.
哇，越来越神秘了。重点是我不知道这要干嘛。哇！这里还有门铃。 应该还有一个地方有声音，哪里呀？
It's a statue of some hideous, scaly, bipedal fish monster.
Playing a harp.
Playing a harp. Hang on a second. This isn't just a regular statue, is it?
Something tells me we're not gonna solve this just yet.
Let's come back later. It must do something.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Hmm. 好啦，今天先开到这里好了。再开下去，我觉得我会受不了，我会一直想要继续玩下去。我就这样。可是今天差不多啦，12点半了，差不多了。明天有事情要出门，所以要稍微早一点起床，可能就没办法开到这么晚。去，拜拜，晚安，3天不洗澡，晚安，波波，莱福特晚安。那就这样啦，今天就开到这里啦，那大家早点休息，那就这样，波波。